I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is The Magic Touch. And that is something that you could really have this week, which would be very nice. And that is because of the position of the planets. They've sort of moved, and now they're in a very good position for somebody to have the magic touch. And that is because, first of all, there are 4 planets in the healing water signs, and they're all trining each other. The Sun and Mercury are in Scorpio, a healing fixed financial water sign, and they are trining the Moon today, which is conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is the ruler of that sign as well. Neptune and the Moon are closely conjuncting each other, and they're both very visionary planets or intuitive planets, and so that's why you could sort of have the magic touch. You might not even know how you got the magic touch, but it could still be there. So you should really pay attention to your hunches this week. And that is because there can be a greater understanding. There can be an almost purely visionary or compassionate understanding of something that's going on behind the scenes. Remember, Pisces rules hidden things or covert activities or even deceptions and omissions. And then it's also a very creative sign as well. But there can be some compassionate understanding about something that has been going on behind the scenes that is revealed. And yet, with charity and forgiveness, a victory could result right now that can help aid the administration of justice. So I know that sounds a little convoluted, but it simply means, since Pisces also rules charity and forgiveness, that through a sort of a greater understanding or some sort of magic touch, there could be the administration of justice done in a charitable or in a way that promotes forgiveness and healing. And so that would occur mostly in personal relationships, because these 4 planets, the 2 in Scorpio and the 2 in Pisces, are all trining the sign of Cancer, which rules the home and our families and our feelings. So that could be going on. So you, believe it or not, once you understand something, you could be very forgiving about it, even if there has to be an administration of justice as well. It could sort of all work out. On a more universal plane, there are 2 planets which are beautifully aspected this week, and they're going to stay that way for a while. And it is that Venus has left Scorpio and it has now gone into Sagittarius. And it is joining Jupiter in Sagittarius. Well, Jupiter is the ruler of the sign. So these 2 planets, which are 2 of the best planets in the heavens, are in the same sign, which is very strong because the ruler is there. And that simply means that all of the things that Sagittarius represents are extremely well aspected right now. So that magic touch that I'm talking about could occur in a more universal way. And that's because Sagittarius rules the whole judicial system, because it rules the courts, and that would be worldwide. It rules long-distance travel and people in foreign countries. And it rules the higher mind, so it also rules higher education, meaning 4-year colleges and universities and graduate schools. But it also rules religion and high ideals and our philosophy as well. So there is the possibility that you, with your magic touch, could decide to answer a higher calling right now in one way or another. Maybe there's something according to your high ideals that is so important to you that you could find a way to do something about that that could reinforce your high ideals. That would be great. Or there could be an important court decision, or a decision made by an international organization, or there could be a treaty or some sort of truce. And because these planets are in such wonderful position right now, and particularly because of the 4 planets that are in the water signs trining each other, 2 in Scorpio and 2 in Pisces, this magic touch that you could have this week may relate to something that could be almost miraculous. Pisces does rule miracles. They're sort of unbelievable miracles, but they do happen from time to time. And it might be that you have just the right magic touch this week for something like that to happen. You never know. Okay, and what else could it mean? Well, we know that in the magic touch, some have it and some don't. It can be along more practical lines that some people don't have the magic touch, though, and it can be for 2 very good reasons. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to have a miracle happen in their lives this week, although there is a strong possibility of that, and something pretty unbelievable could happen. However, on an everyday level, one reason why some people may not have a magic touch is because of delay. And a delay could occur now somewhere in your life because there are now 3 retrograde planets. And when there are 3 or more retrograde planets, it's a better time to go back and check things that you've already done and review them just in case you've skipped steps. Because Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio now, Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, and Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. And so this is a time when you might miss a golden opportunity because you overlooked something, or because you just proceeded too quickly and you may have skipped a few steps, and that could be very costly and create delay as you find that you have to go back and sort of wind something up or finish something up first before that magic touch can take effect. The second reason why there can be some massive roadblock or some sort of blockade to a goal of yours is because Mars is in Libra. It is a very aggressive, warmongering planet, and it's in the sign of peace, Libra, which also rules the law and legal contracts. And that Mars is exactly squaring Pluto in Capricorn. Mars is at 22 of Libra, Pluto is at 21 of Capricorn. And Saturn is in Capricorn as well. But last week, Mars was exactly squaring Saturn. This week, Mars is exactly squaring Pluto. And because Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio, which does rule other people's money or financing, there is the possibility that someone could lose their magic touch because there can be a legal challenge to some sort of financing. Scorpio rules financing, in other words, money coming from other sources. And it can even be that somebody could declare that they have a certain kind of currency that is good, only it isn't, because it has not been legally sanctioned. And that is a whole different process. But they could sort of lose their magic touch simply because they had not been following all the legal precedents that have to be set up for something like that. So there can be quite a challenge to a problem that involves financing right now. And that's why somebody could not have the magic touch. But for most people, this is a time, because of the wonderful compassionate understanding going on in the water signs, when a personal relationship with a sort of a magic touch could turn out to help the administration of justice, but be done in a very charitable and forgiving way. It can all work out pretty well. And also on a more universal level, it simply means that there could be some sort of miraculous breakthrough, or this can be a time when you want to follow a higher calling of your own, and that would be for the good of everyone. So go to it. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, I have got wonderful news for you. Somebody really loves you, Aries. And the reason why I'm sure of that is because both Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius, 2 of the best planets in the heavens, are trining your sun sign. So that simply means, remember, that all of the things that Sagittarius represents are very favorably aspected right now, and they trine your sun. So it can be that if you want to take a trip, that could work out pretty well. Or if you want to follow a higher calling of your own, or if, since you are very well loved and you're very popular right now, someone from a long distance could come to visit you instead. But it's because they like you so much, Aries. So this is a wonderful time for you. It's a time when you could start something as long as you've done all of the proper legal work first, because your ruler Mars is still in Libra, squaring your sun sign, and Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are squaring it. I would go for making a personal relationship a really happy one right now. I don't think you're going to have to work too hard at that, Aries, because I think there are other people around that really like you, and they probably are going to let you know that. That would be great for you. So have a good week. All right, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, once again, you have to be a little careful about the money, because Uranus in your sign is being opposed by the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio, which is the other fixed financial sign. So you do need to sort of watch particularly any kind of financing or money that you thought was coming your way. It doesn't mean the money isn't still coming, Taurus, because Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun. You have some very influential friends around, people that may be more powerful than you are, or who have been around a long time and have some money. In other words, they're financially secure, and they can be thinking quite well of you, since Saturn and Pluto are trining your sun sign. So that's good. But still, if you are expecting some money to come your way, it either may have a high cost connected to it. In other words, it could have the cost of credit could be going up, and that could affect you. Or it can be that you owe higher taxes simply because you've been more successful this year. Or it can simply be that if you sell something, there could be additional costs to that selling, like a selling cost. So you would not be getting the money that you had anticipated. And so, you know, you too can have a magic touch as long as you don't hurry too quickly, and as long as you understand there are 3 retrograde planets, and one of them's in your sign, Taurus, it's Uranus. And that is why you have to really double check your investments and your financial dealings right now. There could be a little something that you've overlooked, so be careful. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time when it can be that with Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius so well aspected, opposing your sun sign, it may appear as if the ball is in someone else's court and that someone else is at a distance or far away, or that matters concerning higher education or the courts or long distance travel or foreign countries are working out pretty well for somebody else. And it may be a little iffy for you at the moment with these 2 good planets opposing your sun sign. That isn't really as bad as it sounds, though, Gemini, because Mars in Libra is still trining your sun sign, which is an indication that it's more important for you to handle things well. And I think that you can do it. Your ruler, Mercury, is now retrograde in Scorpio, and that is an indication, since Scorpio is a financial sign, that it would pay you to go back and look over some financial matters and make sure the money is really all there, not promised. If somebody says the check is in the mail, I don't think you should necessarily believe them right now, Gemini. But if you've got, contracts signed, even if they're signed in a hurry, then that is legally binding, and you can still come out pretty well, particularly in your future. So look forward, not backward, because your future is looking very bright. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a wonderful time for you. It's either you or somebody pretty close in your family or among your close friends that is really going to have the magic touch right now, Cancer. And that simply means that when information behind the scenes is revealed, there can be a purely visionary or a compassionate way of understanding and handling a matter that involves justice, but handling it in a way that allows for charity and forgiveness as well. It sounds like a tall order, but this is a time, because of this grand trine in the water signs, when all personal relationships could have a little bit of a magic touch and turn out rather miraculously well now. And that could occur for you, Cancer. So it can be either that you sort of decide to forgive and forget something, or somebody else decides that and sort of lets it all go, and that could certainly make everybody happier and calmer in their feelings. So this is a time when I think there is some happiness coming your way, Cancer, either because of your magic touch or somebody else's. So I hope you enjoy that. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, you know, just like Aries, somebody loves you, Leo, and they're going to let you know it. You'll love that. And that is because Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius are trining your sun. It's going to get a little better, too, because Venus has just entered Sagittarius, and Jupiter's been there almost the whole year. And so Venus is actually going to come up and conjunct Jupiter. That's going to be great, and that will benefit you as well. So there is the possibility, as long as you're real careful in financial matters right now, that there can be some magic touch that somebody else has that may involve you, Leo. That would be nice. Or you could decide to have it. You could decide to do something like answer a higher calling. Or it can be that you decide, or there is a court decision that benefits you in one way or another. Or it can be that you are becoming more philosophical or deeply religious. That could occur as well. And certainly long distance travel can work out well. It may be that someone else is coming to see you, Leo. Maybe not this week, but they can be planning it, and they would certainly have love in their hearts for you. Or if you're going somewhere, you're going to be received with open arms, and you're going to really enjoy something right now, Leo. It's just that you still can't afford to be extravagant or take a gamble on anything, because Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun sign, and so is the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio, and that Mercury is retrograde right now, meaning you have to go back over financial matters, particularly anything that involves credit or debt or taxes, and look it all over again, Leo, because some information is missing or it's been skipped, and that could make you lose the magic touch. So at least where finances go, so be careful. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, because Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun, and so is Uranus in Taurus, it simply means that you can be very successful in practical matters, or health issues, career matters, or long-term security, or your investments. All of those things, and good problem solving, those things can work out really well for you. But you know, you might be a little bit disappointed. I'm not saying that you don't have the magic touch as well, because there are good planets aspecting your sun sign. But that magic touch would pertain to practical matters, or your career, your job, your business, your health, something real that you can really add up and look at, or real problems that you can solve. Because the moon today and Neptune in Pisces are opposing your sun sign, and Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius are squaring your sun sign. You have to try not to be disappointed in matters that come out in the open now. In other words, when truth is revealed, there can be a compassionate, visionary way of understanding what's going on behind the scenes, and having charity and forgiveness result. And so that's all nice, but it may not necessarily pertain to your personal relationships because of the harshness of the aspects of these really good planets right now. And so that means that you mustn't let yourself be disappointed or let down by information that you learn about somebody or something behind the scenes. And stick to practical things you do well, and sort of try not to dwell on anything else right now, Virgo. Just be a good be who you are. Don't worry about anybody else right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when, you know, that Mars in your sign, which has been causing all kinds of trouble in partnerships and legal matters, is now squaring Pluto in Capricorn and Saturn there as well. And that means there is definitely a legal challenge to a financial matter. It may not be your financial matter, but you could really be troubled by it in one way or another, or affected by it. So it could be an employer's that you are associated with in one way or another, or a large corporation or government agency that can be in quite a challenging position right now. And I advise you to, you know, backtrack a little bit and not voice your opinions about any legal problem right now, because it would be misinterpreted and you would find yourself in trouble. That's a good way to lose the magic touch. And you know, your magic touch always involves charm, Libra, because Venus is your ruler. And so the only thing that you can afford to show anybody is a nice smile right now. And I hope you do that, because that way someone else's misfortune may not affect you too much. Just keep a smile on your face and try to hope that something blows over. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when I think that, you know, you can certainly benefit by somebody else having the magic touch, or you having it yourself. And because your sign rules justice, it simply means that when the truth is revealed, there can be some sort of compassionate way of understanding what was going on behind the scenes, and when it comes out, there can be a sense of charity and forgiveness that can aid in the administration of justice. It doesn't mean that justice won't be done, but it can be done in a very fair way, which is probably the way you like to operate. You would benefit from this in one way or another, Scorpio. There can also be some very good news about money coming your way, or there can be a good opportunity to ease family tensions. And that could involve a little bit more compassionate understanding from others. So I think you're going to have a very good week, Scorpio, particularly on a personal level. I think you'll be happy. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, oh, lucky you. Somebody loves you, Sagittarius, and it can be that you are in love as well. Or else you can be very successful right now, and you can be getting the news about that. The Sun and Mercury are right behind your sun sign in Scorpio, and they are being beautifully aspected. So either you have that magic touch or somebody else does, and it is really going to help you sort of see the light or answer a higher calling, or certainly you can be receiving honor or accolades for really doing something that was right for everyone, something that is universally good. So this is going to be a wonderful week for you, Sagittarius. And believe me, either you're very much in love, or others love you, or both. So lucky you, you've got the magic touch. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when you can be still fed up to here with people who are surmounting legal challenges or lawsuits, or they could even be breaking the law because Mars is squaring Saturn and Pluto in your sign. It is exactly squaring Pluto today, and that is an indication that there can be some trouble or a legal matter involving financing, and you are sure not in agreement with it. In fact, you can be very much against something that someone else has been doing that involves financing. And whatever they're doing, it's got to stop, Capricorn, because you know it's not the right thing, or it's not working out. And your sign has some backup. Uranus and Taurus is trining your sun sign. So I think you need to put your foot down, and there is the possibility that that might be the only way that you can have the magic touch right now, is by being more explicit about what is really right and how important it is that that has to be done. And if somebody doesn't want to listen to you, then I hope you turn your back on them and walk away, Capricorn, because your values are staunch right now, and they should be. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when I think that you still have to be careful about the money, because Uranus, your own ruler in Taurus, is squaring your sun, and so is the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. But right ahead of your sun sign is the Moon and Neptune in Pisces, and they are closely conjuncting today, which means that very soon, or perhaps right now, you could have the magic touch concerning something that's been going on behind the scenes that you can now understand very clearly because it's been exposed. But yet you can have a sort of a compassionate view of it. Even though the administration of justice has to be done, it can work out pretty well. And if it involves you, I think you're going to come through it okay, Aquarius. So just remember, the thing that can hurt the magic touch or take it away is the delay that these 3 retrograde planets are causing. So be sure and go back and check your facts first, if you can today. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, congratulations. The Moon and Neptune are exactly conjuncting in your sign and being trine by the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. And that simply means that, you know, Pisces, if anybody was going to have the magic touch, it would be you. And that magic touch, remember, can involve a sort of a compassionate understanding of things that have been going on behind the scenes. Or what I think it means for you, Pisces, is that you're finally going to get a clear look and a much better understanding of somebody. Because these things involve personal relationships in the water signs. And somebody that you thought wasn't really a very good person for you, you might be able to understand them a little bit better now and find out that, you know, either they're doing better or else you are able to have that magic touch that turns a relationship around and not only administers justice, but does it in a fair and a charitable way. So you're in the driver's seat, Pisces. Do your best, because I know you can. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show, read our blog, and hear our podcast on our website, starborninstitute.org.